Now we're going to move into the second series. The second series is called the standing series. It's going to introduce a little bit more effort, it's going to introduce a lot more stability, and we're also going to keep opening up our joints, so we're still working on our mobility. The first thing we're going to do is that we're going to do some squats. Now squats don't have to be hard, but we do need to make sure that we do them properly. You don't have to get all the way down to the ground, just as close to below the knees as you possibly can. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get Pete to stay facing the camera as he is. I'm actually going to ask Sarah if she can turn and face this way for us. We're going to do our squats with our hands out in front of us. So if you guys can have your hands out in front of you and start doing 5 squats for me. Down we go, good, and up. As you do the squat, what I want you to focus on, keep going for me Sarah, is that you're going from the ankle up through to the shoulder. So we push through the ankle and bring ourselves up. That's great Sarah, further. You're even getting lower straight away. When we do this exercise, we're working the glutes, we're working the knees and the ankles and the lower back. The squat's a great exercise for starting to stimulate all those areas and put some strength into those areas. Once you guys have done 5, that's absolutely fine. Now, an interesting thing about the squat is in a lot of studies, when they measure quality of life in our elderly population, it's the ability to do a squat that separates the one that have good quality of life from the ones that don't. Why is that? You use the squat so often in normal daily life, normal daily activities. Even going to the toilet requires a squat. So if you can develop a squat and maintain your squat, you're likely to have a better quality of life later on. Our next exercise is that we're going to do a fold. The fold is, what we're going to do is have our feet shoulder width apart. We're going to, from our hips, hinge, and we're going to take hold of our toes. Now you can bend the knees as much as you like, bend the knees as much as you like, bend the knees as much as you like, and then from there you're going to raise the pelvis up to the ceiling, thereby straightening the hamstrings and making an active hamstring stretch. This is great because now that you've got control of something, you can be in touch with how much exercise you are putting into those muscle groups. So once you've held that for about 5 seconds, you guys, you can bring yourselves up. Good. So make it safe, bend those knees as much as you can, or as much as you need to, I should say. Take hold of the toes from that anchored point, then push the pelvis up to the ceiling, and you will get a lovely hamstring stretch and opening of the joints in the back of the body. Our next exercise, I'm just going to use Sarah, so Pete, you can just pop to the side here. We're going to do a wide-legged stance. So Sarah, if you can have those legs nice and wide, you can have the toes either pointing forward or pointing in. It's either whatever's most comfortable. Have the hands out in front, and Sarah, can you just come into the side? That's great. And then you don't hold it, you go to the other side, so it's a nice smooth movement, Sarah. That's good. One side, then the other side. Now what we're doing here is like a squat, but we're really targeting that inside adductor muscle here. As we go through the series, you're going to see me talk about hips a lot, because in the sitting world that we exist in, our hips get so tight and our hips so commonly equate to lower back pain. So by doing this exercise, we're getting the inside of the hip, and it's a fantastic exercise for stability and mobility. We also pick up a lovely little inside stretch for the knee as well. Pete, you can come back and join us again. And what we're going to do in between the wide-legged stance, we're going to move into another fold. So we're going to go down, bend our knees, take hold and push the pelvis up to the ceiling, and just hold that for about 5 seconds. Why am I going to emphasize the hamstrings? Again, in the sitting world that we live in, our hamstrings get so tight, all that pressure goes into the lower back, and there's so much lower back pain out there which you can avoid by doing the Daily Spine Fit series. That's excellent. We've just got one more exercise for these guys to do, and this is called the stalk. Pete, can I get you to face the bookcase? Sarah, can you pop here and face the other way? And so what I'll get, Sarah, if you can lift your left leg straight up, this is the stalk. Pete, can you do your left leg as well? That's good. So this is a stalk that we're going to hold for 10 seconds. Now this is a great exercise for stability. Sarah, clench that buttock muscle, clench that tummy muscle, make everything as strong as you possibly can through there. As you do the stalk, make yourself as tall as you possibly can, keeping a nice curve in the lower back here, and that allows us to have great posture and develop our stability through the hips and the lower back. That's excellent. And of course we'll do 10 breaths each side. So you guys can do the other side. That's good. The knee comes to hip height. Wonderful posture, lovely curvature here, working that glute, working those abs, working that glute, pushing that heel into the ground like it's a tent peg going into the ground. Well done. And down we go. Very good. And that is the Series 2 standing series. We're going to transition from the standing series into the kneeling series in the next video.